Kripalu is a non-profit organization dedicated to living and teaching yoga. For more information, watch the short presentation at the end of this tape. For a catalog of our year-round program offerings, call 800-741-7353 or visit the Kripalu shop online at www.kripalu.org. Hi, my name is Sudha, and I'm delighted to welcome you to this gentle yoga practice. These days, it's common knowledge that yoga offers a wonderful way to stay strong and flexible, whether young or old, and releases the stresses of daily life. But yoga has some other surprising gifts. It helps us to attune to the inner world of the body, to learn to be present moment to moment with compassionate awareness. This is the heart of Kripalu Yoga. On this tape, you'll find 2 30-minute flows, which can be done separately or together, depending on your time and energy. Each series contains a complete experience of both floor and standing postures. To get the most benefit from your experience, proceed gently, easing yourself into the postures, exploring the edges of the stretch, and giving yourself permission to modify the poses or simply back off when you need to. Never force your body to conform to some image or to what someone else is doing. The key to a safe and enjoyable practice is staying tuned in to your body's needs and breathing with full and steady breath. A few props can also be helpful. For example, in sitting poses, you can help lengthen the spine and feel more relaxed by sitting on the edge of a folded blanket or a cushion. In postures like standing yoga mudra, holding a strap between the hands helps tight shoulders open and extend the reach. Though we won't be demonstrating the use of props during these flows, you will see that the other 2 yogis use various modifications that you can experiment with, like keeping the knees soft in forward bends. You'll find that the second sequence ends with a special practice we call meditation in motion. During this time, give yourself permission to move in any way your body calls for. Move slowly. Let yourself become absorbed in the flow of movements, which may look like yoga postures, or they may not. Trust that whatever emerges is your unique expression, and know that that is perfect. Now, gather your props, and let's begin. We'll begin our practice with a brief centering. So come into a seated position and take a moment to settle in. If you think it would be more comfortable, experiment with sitting on the edge of a cushion or on your heels. To lengthen the spine, press your sitting bones towards the floor, the crown of your head up toward the ceiling, and take a big breath in. Sigh it out. Let your eyes soften, turning your gaze inward now. Let your mind begin to follow your breath as it flows in, as it flows out. Focusing on the inner world of sensations. Taking time to connect in. And begin to deepen your breath now, preparing to synchronize the breath with arm movements, starting with your hands alongside your body. As you inhale, slowly sweep your hands out to the side, turning the palms up and reaching overhead. Look up. And exhale. Lower the arms down to your sides. Again, hands slowly sweep out and up overhead, inhaling. Looking up and reach. Exhale down. One last time. Inhaling the arms up, palms come together this time, fingers interlace. Hold your breath in, drop your chin to the chest, and reach one more time. Energy filling the body. And release. Lower the arms. Breathe normally. Preparing now for a side stretch. Bring your left hand onto your hip. Press your sitting bones into the floor and begin to slide your right hand out to the side. If it feels right to you, lower the elbow onto the floor. And now sweep the opposite arm up overhead, gently reaching. Looking up towards the ceiling, pressing the shoulder blade back. Looking down towards the floor, lowering the arm and come back up. Other side. Right hand on the hip. Sitting bones pressed down. Take a breath in. As you exhale, slide the left hand out. And again, if it feels right, lower the elbow to the floor. Reach the right arm up overhead. Both sitting bones stay on the floor. Chest presses back, arm reaches. Look up. And then down. Release the arm. Sit back up. Continuing our spinal warm-ups. Interlace your fingers, press the palms away from you. Tuck your tailbone under and round the back. Release your head. Stretch. And come up. Hands take hold of the knees, drawing them towards you to open and lift the chest. Eyes look up. And release. If you're on a pillow, set it to the side now. Bringing your hands behind the back, sitting tall, bend your knees. Place your feet slightly wider than hip width, preparing for spinal rotations. Slowly drop the knees over to one side, and as your knees go back and forth a few more times, ease into the opening of the hips. Breathing. Now the next time your knees come over to the right side, place your left hand on your hip, press that left hip forward, initiating the spinal twist, rotating through ribs, shoulders, neck. And release. Lift the knees up and over, sit tall, right hand on the hip this time, hip presses forward and rotate around. Notice how far you can see on this side. And release. One more time each direction. Hip initiates the twist. Both hands come behind the back. Walk them a little further around, coming down onto your forearms. If you feel ready, rotate around a bit more and stretch the left arm out. Head is heavy. Coming up, press the hands underneath the shoulders, lift up, and go to the other side. Right hip presses forward, hands come behind the back. Walk them around a wee bit more. And if it feels right, lower onto the forearms, relax your head. Stretch out the right arm. Breathe. And then hands come underneath the shoulders and press up. Come into the table position. Then right up onto your knees. Prepare now for our lunge series. Shift your weight onto your left leg. Take a big step forward with the right. Find your balance. Now lower your right rib cage directly onto the thigh. Hands come to either side of your foot. Check to see that your knee is directly over your ankle, and then relax your neck. Breathe into the sensations. With each exhalation, invite the inner groin and thighs to soften. Deepen at your own pace. Preparing now to open the hamstrings. Straighten the front leg, keeping the rib cage on the thigh. Hands come underneath you for support. Head and neck remain relaxed. Draw the right hip back. Now check in with yourself. One more breath here. And release. Bend the knee, come back up into the lunge. Turn the back toes under. Straighten your leg. Look forward. And as you exhale this time, step the right foot back to the left, lowering the hips into a plank pose. Strong arms, shoulders pressing away from the ears. And release. Knees to the floor, roll yourself back up onto your knees. Ready for the other side. Here we go. Take a big step forward with your left foot. Find your balance. And then lower your rib cage onto the thigh. Hands come to either side of your foot. Again, checking that your knee is over your ankle. Relax your head and neck. And now notice where the stretch is inviting you to open. Breathe into that stretch. Ease into it. Keeping your chest close to your thigh, begin to straighten the leg. Walk the hands back under you for support. Easing into this stretch now. Playing with the edges of your sensations. Giving your muscles time to open and relax. Breathing. Letting go of thoughts about how you should be in this pose. Take a breath and release forward into the lunge again. Hands beside the foot. Back toes turn under. Straighten your leg. Look forward. And step back to the right, coming into the plank. Drop the knees onto the floor, shift the hips back to the heels, and come into child. Letting go, breathing. Now let's come back up and prepare for the balancing table pose. Wrists underneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips. Spread your fingers wide. Press away from the ears. Now pull the abs in, shift the weight onto the left, raise the right leg up and back, flexing and pointing that toe. Nice and strong. Abs in. Left arm raises to shoulder height. Eyes are steady, focusing on a point in front of you. One more breath here. And release. Let's go to the other side. Take a breath in. As you exhale, draw the abs in, stretch the left leg back and up, flexing and pointing that foot. Lift the right arm up to shoulder height. Focus on the toes and fingers pressing away from each other. Keep the abs in for support. Eyes steady. And release. Drop the hips into child pose for just a moment. And then come back up onto all fours, preparing for the cat pose. Take a breath in. As you exhale, tuck the tailbone under, round the spine. Let the head drop. Stretch. And then reverse. Tailbone lifts up. Small of the back arches, chest opens, eyes look up. And reverse. One more time into cat. Tailbone circles under. Spine rounds, head relaxes. Return to dog tilt. Keep that tailbone up now as we move into the down dog. Toes tuck under. And as you press into your palms now, exhale, lift your hips up. Keep the knees bent. Press into the hands a little bit more. Lengthen the back. Shift the hips back. And begin to alternately press one heel and then the other into the floor. Now, press both heels towards the floor, exploring the edges of your comfort zone here. Keep the tailbone lifting up, sitting bones up. Now, release. Take a big step forward with the right foot into lunge. Then step the left foot next to the right. And roll up. Head comes up last. Take a breath in. Sigh it out. Preparing for mountain pose. Bring your awareness down into the soles of your feet. Find a place of balance there by pressing down through the ball of the big toe, the little toe, and the heel of each foot. Feel yourself connect to the floor, to the earth beneath that. Get grounded. Now bring attention to the crown of your head and press it up towards the ceiling. Shoulder blades press down towards the waist. Tailbone reaches towards the floor. Standing here, become a mountain, grounded, solid, steady. From here, we'll be moving into a supported back bend. So bring your hands behind your back. Press your knuckles or the palms into the small of your back. Breath comes in, chest lifts. Exhaling, hips press forward. With the breath now, lift on inhale, arc and extend on exhale. One more breath. Abs in and come up. Take a breath, sigh it out. Preparing for half sun salute. Palms come together in front of the heart. As you breathe in, hands reach towards the floor and then up overhead. Look up, reach. Exhale, lower arms to shoulder height. Heels of the hands press out, hinging at the hips. lowering the torso down. Hands come to the feet or wherever they can reach. Relax your head and neck. Rotate your sitting bones upward, softening the knees as your body requires. From here, we move into the jackknife, pulling the abs in, flatten the back, and lift halfway up. Hands stay in contact with the legs. Look up. And release. Bend your knees. Tuck your tailbone under and roll up to standing. Arms sweep out and up overhead. Palms come together, looking up, and hands glide back down in front of the heart. 2 more times. Here we go. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, lower the arms, heels of the hands pressing out. Inhale, come into jackknife, look up. Exhale, release down, draw your chest closer to your legs. Inhale, bend the knees and roll up. Arms sweep overhead, palms press together, reach 1 more time. Exhale, hands glide down to starting position. Last time. Inhale, arms sweep up, creating a circle like the sun. Exhale, hinge and lower down, coming to touch the earth. Inhale, lift up to flat back and look forward into your life. Exhale, release and let go of any striving. Inhale, roll up, hands reach overhead and open to receive grace. Exhale, return to your heart. Close your eyes, fill with your breath. Let your hands come to your side and stand still for a moment. Be present, receiving sun salutation. As you're ready, open your eyes and prepare to come into the warrior pose. Take a big step out to the side. Turn the right toes out and the back toes in. Now press down into your feet and inhale the arms up to shoulder height. Head rotates to look out over the right middle finger. Take a breath in as you exhale. Bend the right knee and sink down. Look to see if your knee is directly over the ankle, and if not, adjust it. Spine lifts long. Energy streaming out through the arms and down through the legs, up through the crown. Eyes stay focused on one spot. Take 1 more breath here. And as you exhale, stand up. Turn the toes in. Spring back together. Let's prepare for a wonderful shoulder opener. Inhale the arms up overhead, and as you exhale, sweep the right elbow underneath the left. Arms entwine like a rope. Begin to inhale the arms up and exhale them down. Giving yourself time for the opening to happen. And now release the arms, sweep them up overhead. Take a step out to the side. And let's go to the warrior in the other direction. Now turn the left toes out and the right toes in, gazing over your left hand. Create stability by pressing into your feet, drawing the abs in slightly. Exhale, bend that knee, sink it down. Again, check to see that your knee is directly over that ankle. Chest lifts, spine is long, strong lines of energy flowing through the arms, down through the legs, up through the crown. Feel the warrior in you. strong, focused. And come up. Turn your toes in. Spring back together. Take a breath. Arms sweep up overhead, ready for eagle arms this side, bringing the left elbow underneath the right. Forearms squeeze together. Focus on the stretch in the shoulders and the neck as the arms lift up and then lower. This time, bend the knees, round over, stretching out the low back as well. And roll up. Arms sweep overhead, reach, and slowly lower back to your sides. Relax. From here, we'll be going back onto the floor. So inhale your arms up. As you exhale, hinge at your hips. Arms lower to shoulder height. Torso drops down. Hands come onto the floor. Let the knees bend. Step back with your right foot. Step back with your left and come into the plank pose for just a moment. Drop the knees and lower yourself down onto the floor. Turn your head to the side. Arms come beside the body. Feel the support of the floor beneath you. Preparing for boat pose. Bring your chin onto the floor, palms turning down. Begin by lifting your right leg. Reach it out and up, and release. Other side. Left leg up, stretch it out, and release. Now, just the upper body. Press your pubic bone into the floor, take a breath in, lift the chest and head off the floor, and lower down. Moving into the full boat pose now. Pubic bone presses into the floor. Abs pull in. As you inhale, lift the chest, then the legs and arms. Crown and toes press in opposite directions. Heels and arms come up another inch. Looking straight ahead. Keep breathing and let go. Turn your head to the other side. Enjoy the release. Don't miss it. Let's stretch out the low back. So bring your hands underneath the shoulders and press yourself up. Bring your hips onto your heels and come into the child pose. Arms rest alongside the body this time. If it feels like it's too much, experiment with placing a cushion under your hips and your hands underneath the forehead. Now breathe. Let your back fill with your breath. Shoulders soft. To come out, hands come underneath the shoulders. Press up to sitting. Shift your hips over to the side and swing your legs out in front, preparing for a forward bend. Slide your hands under each buttock and draw the gluteals back so the sitting bones come closer to the floor. Bend your knees and place your hands around the knees. Draw your chest towards the thighs and flex your feet. Now, keeping the chest on the thighs. As you exhale, begin to slide those heels slowly forward, stopping at the first moment you feel any resistance or an edge. Wait there for your body's permission to go further. Hands can reach down underneath the ankles, the calves. And when the invitation of your body comes, and you're ready, allow the heels to slide farther and farther out. Relax your head and neck. Breathe. Let the breath take you deeper. If the sensations get strong, breathe deeper. Ease into this powerful stretch. One more breath. To come back up, pull the abs in towards your spine, tuck the tailbone under and roll up. Come into the staff pose for just a moment. Heels pressing away, spine long. We'll be going down onto the back. So bend your knees, draw the abs in towards your spine, tuck the tailbone under, and begin to slowly roll down, one vertebra at a time. See if you can take 3 full breaths before reaching the floor, strengthening the abs. And when your shoulders and head come onto the floor, let your legs slide out. Exhale, release. Now, bring your knees up to your chest, hands holding on to each knee, and begin to rock from side to side. Massaging the muscles, letting that rocking take you over onto your right side now, knees resting on the floor. Left hand comes onto the floor in front of you and sweeps up overhead and out to shoulder height on the other side, finding yourself in revolved stomach pose. Make any small adjustments you need to. Place a hand on top of the knees or, if need be, underneath. Breathe. Find a place for the head where it feels most comfortable and relaxed. Soften into the twist. To come out, left arm sweeps back overhead along the floor and over into the starting position. Lift your left leg until the knees are wide apart. Roll onto the other side. This time right hand comes onto the floor and begins to make a big sweep overhead out to shoulder height on the other side. Left hand can rest on top of the knees. Head rolling softly, heavily from side to side, finding the place of greatest ease and comfort to rest. Make any small adjustments to open the shoulders, the chest, the hips. One more breath here, being present to sensations. Now, to come out, right arm sweeps along the floor and over to the other side, returning you to side lying position. Right hand lifts the top knee, rolling you onto your back with the knees wide apart. Now draw the knees up towards the chest, and then together, bring the forehead and nose up towards the knees. Release down onto the floor, and come into Shavasana, lying on the floor on your back in rest pose. Arms resting alongside the body, palms facing up. Make any small adjustments that will bring you into even greater comfort. taking time to receive your practice. Letting go all the doing now. And now, if you're ending your practice for the day, stop the tape here and stay in rest pose for as long as you'd like. If you're continuing on for the second sequence, stay as you are and continue to relax for a little longer. If you are just starting your practice today, welcome. Take a moment to gather any props you might need and come into position lying on your back. Let's begin. Turn your attention to your breath and follow it as it flows in and flows out. Focusing attention on the sensations of your body, noticing what's present for you in this moment. Let's prepare to bring movement into the hips and back. Remember, listen for and honor your body's needs. Be gentle with yourself. And now, bring the right knee up to the chest, wrapping your hands around the knee and drawing it in close. Take another breath, and as you exhale, draw that knee across your body, down towards the floor, easing into a spinal twist. Take a breath here. Now lift the knee, roll onto your back. Knee pulls into the chest one more time and lowers. Adjust your alignment. Now, draw the left knee up to the chest. Wrap your hands around that knee, gently pulling it in. Inhale, and as you exhale, draw the knee across the body into a spinal twist on this side. Left arm extends out onto the floor at shoulder height. Easing into the twist, feeling where the stretch is most prominent, and breathe there. Now, draw that knee up, roll onto your back, pull it in one more time, and release. Bringing both knees up to the chest now. One hand around each knee, pull the knees in, and begin to make circles as though the knees were following the face of a clock. Letting those circles grow gradually larger. Knees go in the opposite direction now, focusing on how this feels on the base of your spine, massaging the low back, sacrum. Now knees come back up to the chest and then over onto your right side. Use your hands and elbow to press yourself up into table position. Bringing your hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and prepare for the downward facing dog pose. Turn your toes under. Take a breath in. Exhale, lift your hips way up now. Knees can be soft. Pelvis rotating up into dog tilt. As you're ready, press both heels into the floor. Draw the shoulder blades back from your ears. Really press into the floor and get long in the back. Open the armpits. Relax the neck. One more breath. And release. Knees come onto the floor. Come up into squat and then roll yourself gently up to standing. Head comes up last. Take a breath in and release. Prepare for an energizing breath called the breath of joy. Now this breath has 3 parts to it, and we begin by taking a breath in and raising the arms up in front of us. Another breath, arms to the side. 3rd breath, arms overhead. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, arms front, out to the sides, up overhead. And again, several more times. Full breath in, full breath out, opening. Knees soft and fluid. And one last time. And come on up. Arms reach up overhead. And slowly lower down to the side. Preparing for the chair pose, check to see that your feet are hip-width apart. Bend your knees. Let your hands slide down the thighs as the hips lower towards an imaginary chair. Tailbone reaches back. Chest stays lifted, neck long. And stand up. We'll be going into the chair pose one more time. Here we go. Exhaling, take it down. Knees come directly over the arches of your feet. Abs pull in. Now raise the right arm, then the left. Draw the shoulder blades down and back. Keep the abs in. Checking in with yourself. If you need to come out, come out. If you'd like, drop a little lower. Eyes steady on one spot, energy streaming out through the fingertips. And release. Take a breath, sigh it out, welcoming the letting go. We'll be moving now into a balancing pose I call the Little Dancer. To begin, ground through the soles of your feet. Lift up through your crown. Fix your gaze on one spot. Now shift your weight onto the right leg. Tighten those muscles, draw the kneecap up. Now reach down, grab your left ankle or pant leg. Draw the knees together. Raise the right arm to shoulder height. Chest stays lifted. Abs are in. Crown is lifting. Hip presses forward. To increase the stretch, press your foot back into your hand. Keep the chest lifted, crown lifted. One more breath here, eyes steady. And release. Let's go to the other side. See if you can let this side be fresh and new. Now, weight shifts onto the left leg. Leg is strong. Abs are in. Crown lifts. Now reach down. Grab the ankle. Knees come together. Arm lifts up to shoulder height. Draw the shoulder back as the hips press forward. Press the foot into your hand. Feel the opening on the front of the thigh. Keep the chest up, the eyes steady. If you fall out, say, so what? Take a breath and come back in. And let's all release now. Welcome the sweetness of being on 2 feet. From here we'll be opening the side of the body with the half moon pose. Standing tall. We begin with the left hand on the hip. Right arm raises as you inhale up. Abs pull in. Shift the weight onto the right leg. Press the hip out. Take it over to the side. Right shoulder blade presses back. Chest opens. Reaching through the spine, up through the neck and crown. One more breath here. And come up. Prepare for the second side. Right hand's on the hip. Left arm sweeps overhead. Now press that left hip out. Strong standing legs. Arm, fingers reach. Left shoulder blade presses back. Neck lengthens. Crown reaches. Keep breathing. And release. Hands come back to the side. We'll be moving into one more standing posture, this one called the Stargazer. Take a big step forward now with your right foot. Find your balance and straighten both legs. Hands come behind the back, grasping the elbows. Or if you want to play with this, bring the palms together and work your hands up towards your shoulder blades. Now abs pull in, chest lifts, and eyes begin to gaze upward as though you could see the stars in the heavens above. Press the soles firmly down. One more breath here. And come up. Take a step back. Release the hands. Preparing for the other side. Big step left. Find your balance. Press down through the feet as the hands come to grasp the elbows or the palms reach up. Inhaling, lengthen the spine, lift the chest, and then arc it over. Eyes looking up. And come up. Release. Take a breath, sigh it out. Preparing for the Yoga Mudra pose now. Bring the feet hip-width apart. Hands come behind the back and fingers interlace. Straighten your arms. Bring your shoulder blades together and draw them down. Chest opening. Lifting the arms off the buttocks. Now hinge at your hips and let your torso drop down. Keep the knees soft if that feels better. Pause here in this inversion with the head below your heart. Sitting bones rotating upwards. Head and neck are relaxed. One more breath here. And now lower the hands to the hips. Bend your knees. Bring the hands onto the floor and lower yourself down into a seated position. Taking 3 breaths. Knees will be bent. Hands around the knees. Press the crown towards the ceiling. Draw the belly towards your thighs. Pull the abs in. And again, we lower down slowly. Taking 3 breaths if you can. Lowering 1 vertebra at a time. When the head touches the floor, let the legs stretch out. From here, we'll be going into the bridge pose. Let your feet slide up towards your hips, knees pointing towards the ceiling, feet hip-width apart. Arms are beside the body with the palms facing down. We'll move into the bridge pose with a cat and dog tilt. So begin to press the waistline area into the floor, noticing how the tailbone lifts. Reversing the direction, tailbone drops towards the floor. Notice how the waistline area lifts. One more time. Waistline area presses, tailbone lifts, and continue to come up into the full bridge by pressing the knees forward and the soles of the feet into the floor. Arms can either remain on the floor with the hands and shoulders pressing downwards, or the hands can interlace. The shoulder blades walk together. Arms straighten, pressing down. Resist the first temptation to come down. Breathe and explore the edges of this pose, expanding into the outline of a bridge. Let your belly be full with breath on inhale, releasing on exhale. Check in with yourself, honoring the needs of your body. Come down if you need to. Stay up for one more breath if you can. Now, slowly, very slowly, begin to lower down, one vertebra at a time. Waistline touches the floor before the hips. When the whole body is down, relax. Check if any other movement is being asked for. Perhaps bringing the knees up to the chest, stretching the small of the back. Now listening to your body's messages. Let your body move and respond in any way it's wanting or needing to right now. Let your eyes close and your focus turn inward. Follow the call for movement that comes from within. Slowing down. Staying present to each movement. Staying present to each moment. Letting go of shoulds or any planning of what is to happen next. Take this time to open to the wisdom of the body, letting it move you. Becoming a meditation in motion. Body flowing. Breathing. Moment to moment, tuning in. Following the impulses of life force. Letting each movement come to full completion. Be delicious. And gradually bring your posture flow into stillness now. Slowly come onto the floor, lying on your back, in preparation for Shavasana, the rest pose. Take the time you need to settle in. Get comfortable. Now close your eyes. Stretch out the legs. Muscles of the jaw softening. All expression releasing from the face. Muscles, bones melting into the support of the floor beneath you. Nothing to do now. Simply breathing, receiving the benefits of your practice. Becoming aware of your breath now. And imagine the breath flowing into your legs, your arms, your whole body. Become aware of any area that's in need of attention or healing. Focus your awareness there by placing a hand on that area. Breathing into it. Imagine your breath traveling down the arm and effortlessly sending healing energy out through the palm and into the cells. Breathe and receive your healing touch. And now, begin to deepen the breath, letting the head turn 1/4 of an inch to the right, 1/4 of an inch to the left. And as you take your next breath in, glide your arms along the floor up overhead. Take a long, full, delicious stretch, all the way from the fingertips to the tips of your toes. And then let your arms glide back down to the sides. Bring your knees up to the chest. Give yourself a hug. As you're ready, roll onto the side and slowly come up to seated position for a final meditation. Finding a way to sit comfortably, let your spine lengthen and your crown lift. Breathe in and sigh it out. Close your eyes. Bring into your awareness something for which you feel grateful today. Let that feeling fill your body. Let that image nourish your muscles, your bones, your heart. Breathe. Receive. And to complete today's practice, join us, if you'd like, in chanting the universal sound of Om. Take a breath in. Hari Om Shanti. Peace. I honor the divine being that you are. Jai Bhagwan.